Hey guys, welcome back to Mad About Skin, and welcome to another of our Saturday, we're going to say Friday, Saturday lives. We'll just wait for the room to fill up a little bit before we get going, but welcome. Tom, hello. Happy Saturday, how are you? How's everything in Canada? Quirky Beauty, hello, welcome, welcome. I'll just adjust this so I can actually see. How is everybody? What's new? Oh, actually, I'm going to flip the camera around, sorry, just so I can actually read the comments without constantly getting my finger in the way. So what's everybody been up to? This week has been manic, absolutely manic, but in a good way. I feel like I start every video with that, but in a really good way. Got some really good content lined up. I kind of decided to be a little bit more structured instead of just filming whatever comes into my head on the day or whatever product I happen to be trying at the time. I'm going to be more structured, and so I've actually got my upload schedule with things that I think I'm going to do and how it's going to work. So yeah, hopefully that'll work. Brilliant. Hi Chris, how are you? I'm wonderful, thank you. Hope you're having an amazing week. Just another rainy weekend in Virginia. Yeah. I've got my jumper on. It was sad it being warm. Now it's not warm, and now I'm complaining. I'm very hard to please weather-wise, but yeah, here in the UK it is pretty grey and windy and Christian, hello, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Jania, welcome, my love. How are you? From Leeds. I keep forgetting. Yeah, I keep forgetting you're from Leeds. I'm from Leeds. I'm a Horsforth boy, born and bred. Obviously, I don't live there now, unfortunately, but I didn't lose the accent. So, sending out a big love to everybody in Leeds. Stefano, welcome. Jenny, how are you, my love? How's everything going? Jenny says, hello, glad I'm not missing the live. Darling, it is fabulous to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We do them, just for those of you that might have just joined in for the first time, we do these every Saturday at 6 p.m. It's UK time, your chance to ask me whatever you fancy, whatever comes into your mind from a skincare perspective. Stefano says, binging on your content all day. Stefano, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. No, thank you very much for your support. I do really appreciate it. And I love a good YouTube binge. I kind of think, what am I binging on at the moment? Actually, I'm on a Netflix binge at the moment. I'm rewatching all of the RuPaul's Drag Race series as like my chill moment. And anyone from Canada, I'm kind of hooked on the... I don't know if anyone in Canada's actually seen it, but it's well worth a watch. So, everyone's got any questions, feel free to fire them across. Chris says, loved your new video today. Thank you very much, Chris. I want to do a few more of that style of video. One second, my cat is making a huge noise. Can we hear it? Leo, come say hi. He might come say hi. If he doesn't, if he actually shuts up meowing, he might come say hi. Now, I want to do a few more of that style of video of bringing cheap and affordable skincare to people. And I mean, I love drugstore stuff, so I'm going to try and do that. This week we've got a video. Well, I got filmed. I say I've got a schedule, but I can't remember. I've got a video on, we're looking at the retinols from Paula's Choice, because a lot of you guys have been saying, which one do I choose from like the hundreds that are available, which are the best ones. So I'm going to be breaking that down. We've got some videos coming up on drugstore moisturizer we've done. It was exfoliator, so talking about the different exfoliating options. But actually, I've got some really good full skincare routines that I've pieced together for sensitive skin, because you guys have been calling for that. And I've also done a bit of a collab with a brand which I'm very, very excited about trying out some of their new products. So it's like an exclusive. I'm very excited for it. So we've got quite a lot to look forward to this week. Nahal says, hey, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Morgan Rowe, welcome from Oregon. I have never been to Oregon. I meant to go to Oregon. I went to San Francisco for my 18th birthday, which is years ago. We went to San Francisco, and the plan was to drive up and sort of do the whole West Coast and do Oregon at the same time. But we kind of fell in love with San Francisco, and we stayed there a bit longer than we planned. But I would still like to go to Oregon. Jenny, I look forward to you joining me on my Saturday lives every week. I love these. Like, it's such considering I was so nervous for doing them. When I started like 6 months ago, to like now, I actually look forward to them, and it's just really nice to chill. I've got my cup of tea on the go in this really weird mug from Starbucks. Like, they were giving them away free in the UK like a few months ago, well, before lockdown. And if you bought like a latte or something, you got a free reusable cup, and I've got it. But it's actually really useless because it's scalding hot, so you can't actually hold it. And they don't give you those, like, the cardboard liners, so kind of pointless. But anyway, I'm working with what I've got. Morgan says, oh my God, Kitty. Yeah, Oh, there you are, Leo. I don't know if you can see him. Let's see if he's a star. He's very noisy. He's a total star, but he's very noisy. He's a Singapura, which is I think it's the smallest cat breed. I don't know if that's true or not. But he's tiny, but he's very sweet. He just likes to make a lot of noise and be heard. Quirky Beauty says, I adore your lives. Thank you very much, hun. Thank you for joining. Let's have a look. Nahal says, do you think we can use aloe vera gel as moisturizer? This is a really good question. I'm not a big fan of natural products. Like, I'm not against natural ingredients. I just think we kind of assume they're safe, so people slather them all over their skin, and it's still possible to have a reaction to, and they still can be dangerous for the skin, with the exception of aloe vera and turmeric. They're like my two holy grail natural products that I love as ingredients in skincare. Aloe vera is a great soothing. It's also really good for hydrating. However, some people might find it's not hydrating enough for their skin, so it's a very light hydration you'll get from aloe vera. I have a plant on my windowsill and I cut it in half, like take off a leaf, cut it in half, and massage it into my skin if I would want a little extra moisture. For someone like me who's quite oily and acne prone, brilliant. Won't clog me, and it is just gorgeous to use and gives me the hydration I need. If I need more hydration, I don't think it'll cut it for people that have dry skin, but it's a beautiful moisturizer for anyone with normal to oily skin. So yes, definitely very big fan of aloe vera. Tom says, I love RuPaul and Drag Race. Haven't seen the Canadian version. Oh, you have to, Tom. Honestly, from Canada, you need to watch that. It's so cute. It's just, yeah, it's very good. It's very different. And a lot of people like hate it and say it's not proper Drag Race. I really like it. I think I like it. It's different. You just have to watch it. Yes, Jenny, that's our Leo. Yes. Yeah, now he's asleep. He's been making a lot of noise, but now he's asleep. I've got Leo over here. I've got Sterling the dog over here. He's sniffing and chewing something he shouldn't be. What are you chewing? Who knows? He's absolutely fine. Jenny says, what's your thoughts on hydrating face mists? I like face mists, but they're not essential. So if you lack hydration in your skin, you really need to focus on the moisturizers and humectants. If you want to add a mist in that is also hydrating, go for it. There's nothing wrong with them. I just think sometimes people think they're going to cure everything, and they're not. They're going to add a little bit of hydration, but they're not going to create a huge amount of hydration, so you don't need your moisturizer. One thing I think mists are great for is freshening up during the day. If your makeup starts to look a bit cakey, spritz a mist on and skin. So you need a mist. If you've let your skin dry before you put your serums on, just give a quick mist and it'll make your serums more hydrating and work better. So I'm a fan of mists, but I don't think you need them. I wouldn't spend loads of money on a mist and then not be able to afford other steps in your skincare. I'd say if you've got money to spend and you want to treat yourself, then a hydrating facial mist is really good. I would go for the Sub-Q mist by Hylamide. That's my absolute favorite. Let's have a look. Quirky Beauty says, I've been meaning to ask, I know that you're not an eye cream fan, what's your favourite eye area safe SPF? I'm not a huge eye cream fan. With the exception of a few, I like the Sub-Q Eye by Hylamide. I love the caffeine solution by The Ordinary. I like the caffeine solution by the Inculist. They're all really good products. I don't have an issue with taking my own SPFs onto my eye. I think it's really important. Instead of having a separate eye safe SPF, find an SPF that doesn't sting the eyes when you put it around there. That to me would be the solution, so you're not having like two different products. Most of the SPFs I use are absolutely fine on my eyes. I haven't got massively sensitive eyes, so I will caveat that, but they work quite well. What I would do is just not take it right up to the eye. So we often put our products right up to the waterline, thinking they need to be taken up there. Always remember that when our body heats up products, they migrate upwards naturally, so always just leave a gap between the waterline and where you're putting the product, and it'll move itself up there anyway, and that way you don't get that irritation and that burning that you can sometimes get in the eye. That's like my top SPF tip. But really good question. Steph Cottrell says, hi Rob, I really enjoyed your video on the other YouTubers to watch. Any chance of seeing a collab in the future? Yes. I have 2 collabs that I'm working on. It's really difficult. I thought it'd be super easy. I thought, just do a collab, don't you? Just do a collab. It's really difficult to do it, again, if you're not in exactly the same place. So it's fine. If someone lived where I lived, yeah, you could just jump over to it, especially when your editing's like mine and a bit ratchet. My editing's never been great. But I have 2 lined up, which is quite exciting. And yes, I'd love to do more collabs. I think it's a really good way of sharing sort of your own thoughts with someone else, but also vibing off someone else's energy. It's also really good of kind of introducing your audience to someone else and their audience to you. So it's kind of like, it works a lot of ways. I'd love to do a collab. People always ask what's my, like, if I could do one collab, who would it be? And I would probably have to say, quite controversially, because you all read me to filth for not including him in the first. I feel it'd be easier logistically, who knows? And I kind of like his style of video being quite like a bit more laid back, a little bit more like focusing on the ingredients and how fun they are rather than being like rigid to ingredients. So he'd be my perfect collab. He's never going to collab with Beat, why would he? But if I had to choose any one of my desert island collabs, that'd be him. But I have got some lined up, so keep your eye out for those. Chris, if you wear sunscreen, do you have to double cleanse? No, well, I always think if you wear sunscreen, it's nice to double cleanse because sunscreens, particularly mineral ones, can be really difficult to get off the skin. However, you don't need to double cleanse. A really good tip is, remember, if you are using a mineral SPF, put your moisturizer on first and then put your mineral SPF on top. That'll just mean it's easier to take off. If you're using a chemical sunscreen, put your chemical sunscreen on first, then your moisturizer on top. It tends to be mineral SPFs that are the difficult ones to get off the skin. So I would usually recommend if you put that moisturizer layer on first, it doesn't prevent the SPF from working, which is a key thing, and it'll just mean it washes off easier, so you don't need to double cleanse. But I kind of think a double cleanse is quite nice if you've had quite a heavy SPF day, particularly if you've applied more than once. Then it can feel like you're wearing an SPF mask, so it's nice to. It's up to you, but I probably would recommend it. But try that moisturizer tip, particularly if you're using a mineral SPF, because you'll find it comes off so much easier. Morgan Rose said, I'm finishing up on my moisturizer. What's my favourite for a glamorous hydrating experience? Oh, which ones do I'm really loving the Blythe Crystal Ice Plan. It's a Korean brand. Blythe is an amazing Korean brand. I love them. They do a Crystal Ice Plan, like it's called a serum. It's called a pressed serum, but it's such a good moisturizer. And you put it on. Put on way more than you think you need because I just love how it feels, and it plumps and it leaves you dewy and it sinks in, but you look at your skin in the mirror like 5 minutes after you put it on and you think, yeah, I'm looking great. I'm feeling it. You always have a good skin day when you use that product. I don't know what's in it that just drives that. I just think it's an absolutely gorgeous product. It's got the same texture as the Hydra Boost Gel by Neutrogena, but it's cruelty free, which is a big tick. And I just think it's absolutely beautiful. You can get it on Stylevana, I never know how to say that. You can get it on there here in the UK. I don't know, it will be available in the US. You might just have to search it, but it's called Blythe Crystal Ice Plant Pressed Serum. That, for me, is the best moisturizer you will ever try, and you will have a great, gorgeous. If you could hit that thumbs up, I love you forever because it really helps the channel. So if you haven't already, give this video a big like and I would love you for it. Please, what is the best alcohol-free cleanser and moisturizer? Sending lots of love from Iraq. Oh, we have Iraq presentation here. Well, I'm sending lots of love to Iraq from the UK. Best alcohol-free. Well, first of all, I'll caveat in case people don't know. If you look at the ingredients list on a product and you see alcohol, be really careful because some alcohols are actually really good and beneficial. Denatured alcohol, bad. Benzyl alcohol, bad. They're the ones that dry you out. If you're looking for cetyl alcohol, and some of them are really fatty alcohols that actually hydrate, so I wouldn't necessarily see alcohol and avoid it. Just if it says denatured alcohol or alcohol denatured, sometimes it says, or benzyl alcohol, they're the two like common baddies that you want to miss out. In terms of a cleanser, I would go for a balm cleanser. If you're worried about drying, then definitely go for a balm cleanser because it's all that's going to nourish, and there won't be alcohols. Very few balm cleansers have alcohols in, so you're pretty safe to choose one. I love so many balm cleansers. I'm not sure what's actually available in Iraq or what you can have shipped there. I don't know which products and brands are, but I would look for any balm cleanser which has jojoba in. Rosehip oil is a really gorgeous ingredient. I love marula oil. You could even use olive oil, but I wouldn't if you have breakout prone skin because it can be a little bit thick and occlusive, but on any balm you'll be fine with. In terms of moisturizers, I love the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm. That's my go-to moisturizer. I love it, and it's available worldwide, so you should be able to get hold of that. There's no alcohol in there. It's super nourishing. It's really nice and a deep, nourishing treatment if you're feeling a bit dry. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Jake loves Maui. Happy weekend, Rob. Happy weekend, my love. How are you? What products have you used from Keep Cool? I have used 0 products from Keep Cool, but I have somewhere down there somewhere. I've got a stash of skincare to be tested that sits behind the bed. I have 4 of their products, and actually I got sent, which was really kind, and I can't wait to open them and share them. I haven't got quite enough to do like a review video on the brand, but I will definitely be sharing it with you in some other videos that I've got, and I can't wait. Have you used any of them? What's your take? Let me know. Jenny, do you know, that's a bit of quality. You know you're dealing with quality when you've got to readjust the phone. Jenny Woo sounds like a fab week coming up. So exciting. Thank you, Jenny. If you were to look at my planner of videos that I want to film and do, there is so much. And because new stuff keeps coming out or I get sent new stuff, I keep having to sort of move stuff back, and it all gets very busy, but it's so good. I'm absolutely loving life at the moment. I think this channel is growing. You guys have been so kind and generous, and it's just a really nice experience when I sit down to film. It doesn't feel like effort, which I know sounds really weird, because editing and filming and then editing and doing all of that, it takes a good like 4 hours per video, but it never feels like work. It feels like a hobby, which is just amazing, absolutely amazing. Laura says hi Laura, how are you? JM Mike, I love your channel, good second cleanser and a double cleanse. Mike, hello, welcome. Well, if you've got dry skin, I would say work out whether you need a second step in your skincare, in your cleanse, because a lot of people use a balm cleanser. If you get a really good balm cleanser, you can get 95% of it off the skin without actually having to use a second product. So having that slight layer of balm left will just lock in the moisture and hydration. So question whether you need a second step, first of all. So make it just a single cleanse, but kind of just with a balm cleanser. I know a lot of friends of mine with dry skin do that and have some really good results. You've got to get the balm cleanser right, because some do wash off and some leave a very heavy trace, and obviously you don't want a heavy mask left on, because that means your rest of your products won't work that well. But if you want to use a second step cleanser and you have dry skin, if you've got a really gorgeous and effective cleansing balm, I would actually reach for a good micellar water as your second step, because what that's going to do is just wipe off the last film without drying or taking out too many of the oils, which you can get from a surfactant face wash. So I actually think a micellar water is probably what I'd reach for. My go-to is always the Bioderma. I think it's great. I love it. The original only. The others are a bit... The original with the red cap, gorgeous. I actually think that's a really effective, and often people think it's not a cleanse if you're not washing, but it's often the surfactants, the things that foam, which cause the drying. So by having a micellar water that you're just wiping on, you're getting rid of that layer, but you're not stripping the skin. That would be my recommendation. Anisha says, what's your opinion on taking antibiotics for your skin? So I am not a doctor, I'm not a general practitioner, and so I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, obviously. I was on antibiotics for my skin when I was in my teens, and it did wonders. It cured the problem, but then it comes back, because as soon as you stop taking them, they come back. So I think it's a very short-term fix under the direction of a GP or a dermatologist. However, different people, it works for different things. I don't use... I think there's lots of things you can do alongside antibiotics to help with acne. But I'd speak to you, if you're worried about it, I'd speak to your GP, because I don't want to say I love them, I think they're great, or I hate them, because again, it's unique to the individual, and I'm not the right person to prescribe that or suggest one way or the other. So I would speak to your dermatologist or your GP, your doctor, about it. I was on it for probably 2 years. I was on oxytetracycline when I was growing up in my teens to stop my acne. It worked. It did have some side effects. So for me, it was fine, but I did know a couple of people that did it, and it impacted their teeth a little bit. I don't know if that's actually a case for everybody, or if that's just a specific side effect. I was absolutely fine. But of course, as soon as I stopped taking them, the acne came back. So I would have liked, I think, to have looked for other options or explored other options with a dermatologist. Here in the UK, we just go to the doctor, and that was the first line against the acne. I think had I gone to a dermatologist, would have explored more options, particularly topical things to apply to the skin, maybe alongside antibiotics, I don't know. But I feel like I was just given them and then dismissed, and it kind of left me in an improved situation, but then it came back as soon as I stopped them. So that was my experience with them. Nahal says hello from Pakistan. Hello, welcome. I'm in Pakistan. It must be ahead of us, so it must be nice coming up to evening time now over there. So hey to Pakistan. Chris, do you have any drugstore salicylic acid recommendations? Yes. My go-to, my love, the love of my life was the ordinary salicylic serum, the 2%. And then it's been out of stock forever. I would definitely say when you go for a salicylic acid, go for a 2%, because it's one of those things that doesn't create that much irritation and dryness at 2%, but yet it's very effective. I won't go higher and I won't go lower. 2% is the standard. In terms of the ordinary, never coming back. I've resigned myself to it never coming back. The Revolution Skincare do a 2%. Someone recommended it to me in a video today, which was really good. They do a dupe, which is a 2%. I would use that because it's cheap and you can target it. The beauty of having a salicylic serum serum is you can just dab it where you've got the blackheads. I get them here and I get them here. I put it on, I should do it every day, I forget sometimes. But I put it on as when I remember, and it definitely works on my blackheads. So I go for the Revolution Skincare 2% blackhead as a toning step. The holy grail is the BHA 2% liquid by Paula's Choice. Love that product. Let's have a look. Joanne says, unfortunately, I'm going to have to get another retinol because The Ordinary has been out, and I want... yeah, they are out of stock. The Ordinary retinols are out of stock. Any suggestions? The problem is, a lot of the really good retinols that I go to, the ones I really love, end up selling out, not because of me. I mean, I'd love to think I'd sold out the Inclus retinol, but actually I just think people often realise how amazing they are, buy them, and they're gone. And a lot of these newer companies, such as the Inclist, don't have the huge processing plants that some of the big conglomerates have, so they can't renew their stock that quickly. So I would recommend normally the Inclus retinol, but I know that can be quite hard to get your hands on at the moment. So I would reach for the Paula's Choice 0.3% retinol and 2% bakuchiol combination. I love that product. It's one of my holy grails. It's a little bit up there in price. I think it's £32 here in the UK, but you get about 2 months. The good thing about Paula's Choice is you pay a bit more, but you get a lot of product. So that one is about, I think about £32 for 2 months supply, and that is beautiful. Why I love that is it's a mid-strength retinol similar to The Ordinary, but you've got the bakuchiol as well, which just boosts it up. So it boosts up the efficiency of the product, but without adding to the side effects of the product. I love it. Definitely check it out. It's actually, my video on the Paula's Choice retinols is going live tomorrow, so check that out when it's up tomorrow, and I go in about it in a little bit more detail. Gabby, hello Gabby, how are you? What do you think about the Naturium Vitamin C Super Serum Plus? Good question, Gabby. So I have a mixed checkered history with Naturium. I didn't like the launch. I thought it was a bit shady and it put me off the brand. And then I thought, do you know what? Whilst I might not like it and some of the things that went around it, I still think give the products a chance, and I liked a lot of their products. A couple of issues I have is they don't ship anywhere out of the US, which I think is disappointing. If you're going to launch a skincare brand, I get you can't just launch globally, you know, that's a huge undertaking. But I do think, yeah, what's the harm in launching in Canada? It's literally over the border. Like, maybe there's some reasons for exports and things that you can't, but I think it's a shame that you can't get it globally, which is why I tend not to recommend it, because it is literally just people in the US that can get it. However, the Vitamin C Super Serum is really good. A couple of the misleading things about it. It says it's got salicylic acid in there, which it has. However, it's got a tiny amount of salicylic acid in there. It's used more as an anti-inflammatory than an exfoliator. So if you use it, you will still need to use a salicylic. Here in the UK, we can't get our hands on it, so unfortunately I won't be able to. But have you used it? What would you think? I think Naturium as a line is very well thought through. They keep introducing new products to the line, which I think they should stop doing, and they should increase their geographical scope of where they sell. That would be my preference, rather than bringing new products every week. But it's a well thought through skincare line, and I do like the Vitamin C Super Serum. I think it's clever. It's got a lot of good actives in there. I wish the salicylic acid was bumped up a little bit, because then I wouldn't need to use a separate salicylic acid. But as long as you know you're going to have to, then that's absolutely fine. Guys, before I'm going to take a sip of my tea, but before I go on, if you haven't already, give this video a big thumbs up, because it does really help. YouTube are recommending the channel so much at the moment, which is really good, and that's all borne out apparently by how many thumbs up and comments and things people get. So if you could leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, I'd love you forever. Now, let's crack on with some more comments, because as always, I am way behind. Jenna says, majestic kitty. He is, bless him. He's so cute right now. He is so cute. Let's do it. I'll do you a kitty, little kitty shot. There you go. He is so cute. He's adorable, but he knows it. He's very spoiled, aren't you, Leah? Yeah, he's very spoiled. I've got 2 cats. Marcel is somewhere. He's a total star. He knows his name. I don't think Leo really knows his name that well, so if you call him, he doesn't do anything. Laura says, I have the same Starbucks cup. Laura, they were giving them away free here in the UK. It's really good, but it's so hot. Like, it needs some sort of insulation, because you touch it and you burn your hands. So I don't know what they were thinking with it, but I like the reusable cups, but no. Jenny says Starbucks is using oat milk now. Have you tried it, Rob? Well, actually, I have tried just about every different milk alternative. So I've been allergic to dairy for years and years and years. Now it's kind of trendy to do the whole vegan milk alternative thing. So I feel like I'm trendy now, but actually I was way before the trend. I just can't drink it. And so I've tried just about everything. I'm a huge fan of almond milk because it's kind of tastes about as close as you're going to get to milk. Oat milk for me tastes a little bit like ice cream. I don't know if it's just my taste buds, but it feels really like creamy and rich, which some people love in like a latte or things like that. But I kind of, because I drink tea more than coffee, it doesn't really work in coffee. So I'm sticking to almond milk, but I do like, if you do like at Christmas time, they do like the pumpkin spice latte things. Anyone in the US can tell me this, but I think we're coming up to the whole pumpkin spiced season. I kind of think September's when that starts, I hope, because I'm a huge fan. Stefano says, your cat is gorgeous. Thank you so much. He is, and he knows it. Maha says, I really love your videos. Thank you very much, hun. That's so kind. MK says, Singapore, it's like having an eternal kitten. It really is. Like, yes. He's a year old now, so he shouldn't be a kitten anymore. But it's like Kitten Central. He's so cute, and they're a really gorgeous breed. I think they're supposed to be like the most peoply of the cats, and he is. He'll sit on your shoulder. He'll meow all the time. He's the perfect napping companion. If I ever have a nap, he's there sleeping next to me. He's so cute. Roll says, what do you think of the Tatcha Indigo Cream? Forgetting the price. Well, as with all things Tatcha, you have to forget the price because I don't know where they get their pricing from. It's nice. I don't mind it. I just think, when you have a product that you think is okay, you then have to then look at the price and think, is it okay for the price? And I don't think it's okay for the price. The product itself is fine. It's hydrating. It's a nice cream. But I think the cost is so prohibitive that I think there's better creams out there that I'd rather spend my money on. And I could get 2 or 3 creams for the price I'm paying for that. So that's kind of my issue with Tatcha in general. I think their products are well. I think Hiram did a video on them because I watched it a couple of days ago. And I thought he did a really fair and balanced view. I know he had some issues with the brand that I don't necessarily agree with, but I do think we kind of agreed on the price being a little bit too bougie for what the products deliver. It's beautiful packaging. They are a really nice brand. I like their ethos and some of the ethics behind the company. I just feel that the pricing could be more, I think it could be more affordable and more people would then be able to enjoy it. Rachel Grant. Hello, Rachel. How are you? Are you able to use vitamin C on niacinamide after using the Ordinary's peeling solution? You absolutely are. The peeling solution is, a lot of people think it's like this mysterious product, super strength. It is really high strength, but you can use products after it. All I'd say is just listen to what your skin is saying. So if you wash it off and you find your skin is still prickling and a little bit sensitive, then maybe I would just put a moisturizer on and call it a day. If it's not, mine isn't, I can use it, and then I can absolutely put things like a niacinamide on afterwards. I'd just be super careful and listen to what your skin's saying. If it's red and itchy, don't. Put your moisturizer on and walk on. If it's not, yeah, you do your whole skincare routine after it. Absolutely fine. I really love the Supergoop sunscreen. That's really good. Unseen sunscreen. That's really good for oily skin. I literally am in love with the La Roche-Posay Effaclar sunscreen because that's got product ingredients in there that'll help with some of the dark spots that you can get from acne marks. Those would be my go-to two for oily skin. Both non-comedogenic and they go on beautifully. Laura says, what do you think about the Good Molecules? I have a Good Molecules review coming up on, if I check my planner, bear with, I've got my notes, on Friday. So you will know all about what I think of Good Molecules on Friday. I actually did really like them. As a spoiler, I really like them. They had some heavy misses for me as products, but they had some really good products as well. And overall, I liked the brand. But tune in on Friday to find out which are the products which I think are really good and the ones that I wasn't so sure on. Vegan Games, hello my love, happy Saturday, hope everything's amazing with you. Jenna says, thoughts on using Paula's Choice BHA in the morning? Yes, absolutely. I would use it in the morning. I use mine every morning when I remember. It's really good. I think a lot of people get nervous around acids in the morning because they think it makes you photosensitive. Yes, to a certain degree, but because you should be wearing an SPF anyway, that covers you. So as long as you're wearing an SPF 30, don't worry about using acids in the morning, it's fine. You've got 2 options. You can use it with a glycolic acid at the same time, but if your skin's a little sensitive, what I tend to do is use my glycolic where I don't get blackheads, and on my T-zone, I use the BHA exfoliator. That way you're getting the benefits of both and you're still getting a good exfoliation. But yes, in the morning, absolutely fantastic. Dorothy says, hi, maybe you can answer my question. Every time I use the ordinary azelaic acid and put it near my under eyes, my skin starts peeling really badly. But it likes everywhere else. Yeah, it strikes me as it can be quite drying. So it's really difficult if you get if you use an azelaic acid. Sometimes it can be quite drying, and under the eye is an area particularly prone to dryness. So what I'd recommend is you've got two options. Don't put it in that area. It's fine. I mean, I know that's quite obvious, but I would say the under eye doesn't benefit as well from azelaic acid as other areas, so you don't need to use it on that area. If you do want to use it for, you know, a bit of a lightening and a bit of a treatment on that area, maybe to switch from the ordinary to the Paula's Choice Azelaic Booster. It does cost a little bit more, but a little goes a long way, and it's a much creamier and hydrating formula, so you might actually find that it doesn't react quite the same way as the ordinary one, which can be a little bit on the drying side. We'll move to the Paula's Choice for a slightly richer formula. Vegan Games, I bet one of the collabs is with Adam. I couldn't possibly say. I love Adam. So I've always said I love Adam. I think he's absolutely fantastic. And I would love, love, love to collab with him in the future. I'm not saying whether it is or not, but I do absolutely love him. Everly Green says, hi, Rob. Do you have any recommendations for how to treat sunburn? Yes. So sunburn... I'm not going to preach. I have burned my skin in the past. I'm not going to be one of these people that says, yes, the solution is don't get it in the first place, obviously. But we have all caught the sun. Maybe we've missed an area when we apply our sunscreen, or, you know, it's easy done. The best remedy for it is aloe vera. It calms, it hydrates, it soothes, it's natural. Definitely put aloe vera on. A couple of the other tips that people do recommend is antihistamine. So it can be a histamine reaction. So if you take an antihistamine, that can help at the margins. But I would definitely just get some aloe vera gel and slather it on as often as you need it, because one of the main problems with burnt skin is it's dry. It is so dry, and you need that hydration for the body to heal itself. So definitely lather on the aloe vera, and honestly, your body will love you for it. Just as a side note, if you've ever been in the sun, your skin will be dry even if you haven't burnt, so aloe vera after, always a good option. Laura says, I'm 15, do I need a vitamin C? Really good question. So you can start your skincare routine whenever you want. Listen to what your skin needs. 15 is a great age to start a skincare routine. You don't need a vitamin C because at 15 your skin will be glowing anyway. It tends to be something we need as we age, but an antioxidant is a really nice thing to include in your skincare routine. So if you wanted to include a vitamin C at a younger age, go for a lower strength one. Boots, which is the chemist here in the UK, do a really good vitamin C range, and they do a really nice vitamin C moisturizer that has a touch of vitamin C in a moisturizer format. Use that as your moisturizer, and then you're getting that vitamin C hit, but it's not too strong, and it's a great gateway into vitamin C. But yes, you can use it at any age. I just would go for a very low strength. Let's have a look. Dorothy says, thoughts on Glow Recipe? I love Glow Recipe. I think they're a great brand. I think they're overly coloured. I don't like a lot of colourants in my skincare because I don't always think they're needed. I think they're overly coloured. I think that their pricing is fair. If you don't, it's a firm pass. But some of their products are really good. I am pulling together a video on Glow Recipe. I've got a couple more products I need to try before I can do that. Laura says, you should do a video on e.l.f. skincare. The Supers line is gorgeous from e.l.f. Skincare. I'm planning a trip to Boots, which is the big drugstore here in the UK, next week, and I'm gonna literally binge on everything e.l.f. And you can get so much for like £50 can get you the whole line. It's so cheap. So I'm gonna buy loads, and I am gonna plan a video on e.l.f. because apparently their Supers line is really good and some of their cleansers are really good. So watch this space. Quakey B says, thanks for answering on the eye SPF. I'm a sensitive eye owner with family history of melanoma around the eye, so I've been using the eye cream with SPF to be safe and was looking to eliminate it. Yeah, I would say definitely. So at no point would I ever recommend you don't put SPF on the eyes. You know, two of the areas which are most increasing in terms of skin cancers are the eyelids and the tops of the ears. These are places we miss and yet still get a good amount of sun. So definitely use an SPF. I would just work out one. If you've got sensitive eyes, I think you might have to stick with the eye cream because that's going to be specially formulated for the eye area. I think if you don't have sensitive eyes, just use your normal SPF, save some money. But I think if you've got sensitive eyes, then it's worth the investment in the cream to make sure that you're getting that coverage, and especially if you've got that family history. Yeah, I won't be without it. Verena says hello from Germany. Hello, my love. Hey to anyone else from Germany. Thoughts, Olivia, thoughts on Skin Iceland? Well, first of all, I went to Iceland and I loved it. Literally one of the most beautiful places on the earth. It is so like otherworldly. It's like stepping out, I stepped on the plane, it's like stepping into another universe. It's so beautiful and yet so barren and beautiful at the same time. And the people were lovely, the food was amazing. I saw the big like geysers, they don't call them geysers, I can't think of what that, the hot springs. Amazing. Skin Iceland is a fabulous, fabulous skincare brand. I just think they're a little bit expensive for what they are. They deliver great actives. They've got some really unique botanicals in them. I love the whole brand, but I think they're quite expensive for what they deliver. So, whilst I would say if you like the look of the product and you want to try them, go for it. You won't look back, you'll love it. However, do I think it's worth the money? Only if you have the money to spend. You can, you can get skincare a lot cheaper than Skin Iceland for the same results, but I love their skincare. Their packaging is divine, and I like anything Icelandic. I went to the spas in Iceland. They have the hot spring spas, which are gorgeous, and right, so Chris says, thanks for answering my question. Chris, it's a pleasure, my love. Let's have a look. McCullen says, oh my God, what a wonderful way to start my Saturday. Oh, thank you very much. I'm curious if you ever consider reviewing Elf. I'm sorry, I'm a bit behind with the comments, which is why I have already answered that. I have an Elf. I'm going to go and binge Elf. I'm going to buy all of their products that I can get my hands on in this week. And I definitely am going to do a review. I like to test products for 2 weeks before I do a review, so you can get a good idea of how they work. So look out for it in about 2 weeks' time. So look, Linda says, hi, I love your channel. Thank you, Linda, so kind. It's the first time I've heard that you should put a chemical SPF before a moisturiser. Never heard that before. So what's the rationale? That's a really good question. So at the end of the day, you can put your SPF and your moisturisers however you want. It doesn't make a massive amount of difference, but chemical SPFs work by interaction with the skin. So I think the closest they are to the skin, the better. If you put a layer of moisturiser, particularly if it's an occlusive moisturiser, obviously the chemicals which are in the chemical sunscreen have to fight through that to get to the skin to do their work. Now, yes, they still would work. So in no way are you risking sun damage, cancer and all sorts if you put them on after your moisturiser. I just find you get that marginal benefit if you put it on and then put your moisturiser on top. Whereas with a mineral SPF, you should put the moisturiser on first so that the minerals can sit on top of it, making them easiest to remove. That's personal preference. I'm sure that whatever you're doing is absolutely fine, but I would definitely put it on and then put your moisturiser on top. That is how I've always done it. It's worked well for me, and I think it does have a marginal benefit. It's small, but it's marginal. Let's have a look. Olivia says, does alcohol denatured dehydrate when it's in with glycerin? So alcohols are really interesting. Yes, they do dry. Denatured alcohol does dry the skin. So we're all using hand sanitizer, which is full of alcohol. If you've ever used hand sanitizer, like at the moment where you're using it like 4 or 5 times a day minimum, your hands are drier. It does dry the skin. Now, it's not always such a bad thing, because what it tends to be in products, because it helps the product to evaporate and dry quicker, which is a pleasant thing, particularly if you're in hotter climates. The difficulty comes with balancing it out. So often a product that has denatured alcohol in will have something like a hyaluronic acid or a glycerin in to add the hydration back. So you're removing the hydration, then adding it back, which balances it out. I don't have a problem with alcohol in products. My skin's quite oily anyway, so actually it's beneficial. I think the problem comes if you have super dry skin. I don't think denatured alcohol is the devil that everyone claims it is. I just would say avoid it if you have very dry skin. But a really good question. Laura says, I want to use niacinamide from The Ordinary in the morning and retinol in the evening. When do I exfoliate? In the morning. So I would always exfoliate in the morning, because you want to do your exfoliation opposite your retinol, which always comes in the evening. But really good question. So exfoliate, cleanse, exfoliate, then apply your niacinamide in the morning, then in the evening, apply your retinol. But a really, really good question. Jenny says, would you know of a cruelty-free version of the La Roche-Posay AR serum? No, I'm really, 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 really sorry, Jenny, but I have heard, so I did someone from La Roche-Posay contacted me on the back of some videos I did separately, asking to do a little bit of, not a collab, but send some products. And I said, I love the AR serum, and I love the Cicaplast balm. However, I don't really like to promote La Roche-Posay because they're not cruelty-free, and I do think we should be promoting cruelty-free products. And they said they appreciate that, and they sent some rationale, which I thought was really well put around their cruelty-free status. They personally don't test on animals, but they do sell into China, so allow their products to be tested on animals in order to access that market, they were very upfront and clear about that, so I appreciate the clarity. But I said to them, like, are we moving away from that? And they said absolutely. So what they would like to do is for China to give up that requirement, and as soon as it does, done. However, they're focusing on other things such as environmental sustainability, removing packaging and plastics and waste from their products. So I kind of, it sets my mind. They do still test on animals, which I think is a total shame, but I appreciate their point around, the Chinese issue is a difficult one for companies. I am personally still going to move away from La Roche-Posay because I like to go cruelty free, but where there isn't a dupe for something, and there isn't for the AR serum, I still personally I think it's fine to use until a dupe becomes available. I don't know of a dupe for it, but I'm gonna look out for you. And Jenny, if I do, you'll be the first person I tell because I know you love it. Jenna said, I missed your dream collab. Anyway, I love James Walsh. My dream collab would be James Walsh. I mean, I'm just going to be out there, full fangirl. If he invited me over, I'd jump in the car and be like, yes, over there straight away. Stephen says, hi, you might not agree with me on this, but I feel like in the UK, we always get all the good skincare last. America gets all the best skincare. I don't know. I think it depends. So here in the UK, I think they're a bigger market, they've got more money being spent on it. The UK, I think, compared to other countries, does quite well. We're usually second to America, but we do come in the second tranche of releases usually. Who I feel sorry for is the Canadians. I love Canada, I love Canadians, but they are treated so shoddily when it comes to skincare because the exchange rate is so prohibitive. They end up spending twice what I do on products, and I think that's such a shame. And so when I launch my skincare brand, it's going to be Canada first. I feel a solidarity with the Canadians, and I want to do Canada first and make sure it's an affordable skincare brand for the Canadian amongst us. Pink in the Brain says, should I use the ordinary azelaic acid before or after hyaluronic acid, CeraVe moisturizer and rosehip oil? I would use it first, then the hyaluronic acid, then the moisturizer, then the rosehip. Yuno-kun says, hey Rob, I took your advice and tried adapalene. I'm so happy I did. It's my 3rd week and I'm seeing very good progress. I didn't experience any bad side effects thanks to your advice. Hun, I am so happy for you. I'm so glad it's worked. And the fact you've got no side effects is like amazing. You don't always with adapalene. It depends on the person. I tend to get quite dry for about a week and then it's fine. Some people I know are quite dry and irritated for like weeks and weeks and weeks and then it's fine. It depends on the person, but I'm so glad you took my advice and you enjoyed it. Grace says, what's my opinion about Biore? No. If it works for you, keep using it. For me, I don't really like Biore. I think their formulations are a little lazy. They rely quite heavily on charcoals, which I'm not convinced is a particularly great ingredient. It's fine, but it's not like the cure-all people claim it's going to be, and I definitely don't like their pore strips. Pore strips are so bad for the skin. They can damage the pores and actually make them worse. So I'm not a fan of Biore, but I'd love to know what your experience are. Some of their cleansers, I know people with acneic skin say are really good. And if it works for you, keep using it. I say skincare is unique to you as an individual, but I'm not a huge fan of their products. Annika says, hey Rob, I hope you're great. I am, my love, thank you. It's finally raining here in Stockholm. Oh, you can have our rain. It's rained non-stop here. Have you ever tried Pyeongchang Yu? I can't even say that, hun. I can't even say that. It's a great line for balancing the skin and getting the skin barrier in order. I haven't actually. However, I always rewatch these back and I take notes. So I'll make a note and I will try it because I can't pronounce it, but I love the sound of it. So absolutely. And I love anything that repairs the skin barrier. It's such an underappreciated, Sifa says, I keep hearing how amazing Crave Beauty and Naturium is, but I can't get them in the UK. Naturium definitely can't. Crave you can. I can't remember where I bought it from. I think I might have got sent it actually. It is a shame. Both of those brands are really difficult to get here in the UK, but I love them. I love Crave Beauty so much. Naturium, I said before, I just think they need to, expand. Just in the US, why? You've got an international following. I think they should expand to more territories personally. Let's have a look. Laura says, I love how he said Laura. I don't know how I said Laura. I've got a northern accent. I've lived down south for 10 years now. Still have that northern English accent, which people say they like, but I'm proud of where I come from. I think the accent can sometimes not be the most flattering. We'll leave it at that. JK Loves Maui says, moisturizer after chemical sunscreen. We'll definitely be trying that. Yeah, I think it's just, it's a personal preference. You know, whether you put your chemical sunscreen on before or after you moisturize it, it will still work. So don't fear that you've been exposing your skin for years. I just think it works better to use the chemical sunscreen before the moisturizer, mineral sunscreen after. That's just my personal preference. Oh, sorry, moving the camera there. Alexis Garcia says, I want to incorporate an antioxidant serum in my routine, but I don't know where to start. Do I have any recommendations? Yes. So vitamin C is an antioxidant. Q10 is an antioxidant. There's loads out there. You might be using one without knowing you're using one. I would recommend if you're using a hyaluronic acid in your routine already, go and buy the Incilist Q10 serum, which is a fantastic, powerful antioxidant. Use that instead of your hyaluronic acid because it's moisturizing and it's an antioxidant in one. So you're not creating another step in your routine and you know exactly where to fit it because just use it where you're doing your hyaluronic acid anyway. That would be my advice. The Incilist Q10 serum is my favorite antioxidant of all time. Basic antioxidant. There's some really advanced ones like the Survival by Neod, but they're quite complex. And if you're just starting, Q10 serum all the way. Let's have a look. Green is rule. Hello, my love. How are you? Industry Micellar washing cleansing water. Really good choice. I love that. I've actually coming up in not this week, the week after. I'm doing an Industry haul. I've got loads of their products. I'm trying them, and I can't wait to share them with you. Just while I take a sip, guys, if you could give this video a thumbs up, that would really help. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Click that. I've just had a look as well. I am way behind with the comments on here. Chris, what's the best way to get rid of sebaceous filaments from your nose area? I think, a really good question. I would say a good salicylic acid cleanser, good salicylic acid exfoliator, will help. But what I would actually do is massage. So get your cleanser. If you're using a balm cleanser, massage. People say do it for 15 minutes. You don't need to do it for 15 minutes. But if you massage that area for 5 minutes, it'll soften the keratin which is holding them in there, and it'll make your exfoliator work really hard. You'll see if you massage the oil in for a good 5 minutes and time it on your phone because 5 minutes is a long time. Time it on your phone, do it for 5 minutes, and you'll notice the difference. Honestly, it's changed by the number of blackheads gone. Let's have a look. Nonna says, can you use a salicylic acid cleanser at the same time as a retinol? You can. Salicylic acid in a cleanser won't be giving that full powerhouse salicylic acid, so you can use it. Just be mindful and make sure your skin doesn't get too dry. So listen to what your skin's saying. If it's drying, obviously avoid, mix it up. But yeah, absolutely you can. Wind TV says, which product should I use to calm down my skin when it's troubled? I love, if you've got really, really aggravated skin, Panthenol is fantastic. Selenium is gorgeous. If you've got the La Roche-Posay Low Thermal, which is thermal water, it's packed full of selenium. So if you're finding irritation, just a quick spritz of that, honestly, will take it down, calm it, soothe it. You'll love your skin again. So that would be my top tip. But Panthenol's really good. The Cicaplast Balm has it in. Look for B5. B5 is panthenol. So anything that has vitamin B5 in will really help to nourish and soothe the skin. Rashini says, Namaste. Namaste, Mahan. How are you? Please suggest anti-aging product must have for skin of colour. I am usually quite open to saying I think if you have pigmented skin, and I'm talking anything from, well, we all have pigment in our skin, but I'm talking deeper pigments. If you're one of the really rich dark skin tones, anti-aging tends to be exactly the same as someone like me who's super light. The only difference is you are more prone to hyperpigmentation and uneven skin tone. So I would say do a standard anti-aging skincare routine, and I filmed one. If you search in my videos, I did one just using the ordinary, because that's a really affordable anti-aging skincare routine. But I would add something like the Repigment from Neod or a hydroquinone, like a differing dark spot corrector. You need something to just up the ante on the pigmentation element. But other than that, it's a pretty standard anti-aging skincare routine. The difference, so I would just use a normal anti-aging routine, but up the hyperpigmentation game with something like an alpha arbutin, Neod Repigment, or the differing dark spot corrector. Have I ever used Liz Earle? Catherine says, I have. Their hot cloth cleanser. Love it. Absolutely love it. Liz Earle is a bit controversial. It's packed full of botanicals, which is great, but some people say it makes their skin itch if you're a bit sensitive to those, which it can. But if you're not, it's a beautiful cleanser. I love a muslin cloth as well because it gives an element of exfoliation without being too rough. I love Liz Earle. She's really great, and the range is really good. BB says, you are great. Thank you so much, hon. Simon says, hello there, I'm late. Simon, you are late, but do not panic. Do not panic, because tomorrow morning this is all uploaded and you can watch again for all the bits you've missed. Sarah Sarah PA says, have you ever tried Colour Science? I haven't, hon. Have you tried any of their products? What would you recommend I try? Because I love your recommendations and I'd love, love, love to try them. BB says, what do you think of Neod Cali 1 volume loss? I love everything that's Neod. I'm a Neod like fangirl. I love it. I think that's one of their better products as well. I think it will work for volume loss. I would just read about the science behind it. Neod is really good at explaining exactly how each of these products work. I go onto the website, read behind it, and see if it's a product you want to invest in. I haven't personally used it for me because that's not volume loss isn't something I'm concerned with at the moment. But the formulation is gorgeous, and I do know people that have used it and have had really positive results. Laura says, love from Venezuela. Oh, we're getting we've got a bit of South African flair here. Sending lots of love from the UK to Venezuela. Thomas Ashley, hello Tom, how are you? I have a dog. He is actually asleep. I would wake him up and introduce you to him, but no. He's so giddy when he wakes up. I'm not risking that. But he sat down there. He's a Keukenhound, which is a Dutch Spaniel. Gorgeous, gorgeous dog. They kind of look like a fox, if you kind of imagine. He's like I say he's white, but he's quite a mucky white because he's been playing in the garden, but like a mucky white fox. Joanne Smith says, of course, Paula's Choice is temporary out of stock on that. Oh, really? Oh. I give up. I can't find a retinol that's actually in stock. But I think the Naturium retinol, to come to your question, what do I think of the Naturium retinol? There is the controversy around it. It's up to you whether you want to buy something or not. Sorry, I'll just get out the light. It's up to you whether you want to buy something or not. I think my main issue with Naturium was around the launch, but also that they badged products, removed the vegan status from the products and apologise for that. So I think, we can all learn and apologise. And so I'm very forgiving in that nature. Whether you want to purchase from Naturium is up to you. The retinol is actually very good. It's encapsulated, so it's mid-strength. If you can get hold of it, it is a reasonably equivalent product to the Inculus retinol. I personally don't buy from Naturium because I think they lost a lot of trust when it came to the launch. But if you're fine with that, actually it is a very good retinol, and the products actually themselves are very good. Let's have a look. Quirky Beast says, I'm just going to turn this camera so we can actually get out of the light because it's super, super bright here as the sun's shining. Oh, that's better. Quirky Beast says, I feel like I was trendy with the milk alternative as well. Yeah, I was way ahead of the time. I think my only issue with it, because I'm dairy free and I don't do dairy, people assume you're vegan. There's nothing wrong with being vegan. But if you ask in a restaurant, like, can I have like the vegan nachos, but would you mind putting chicken on it? They look at you like you might be the weirdest freak in the world. So it's a bit difficult. Let's have a look. Paige says, is it okay to have a completely separate skincare routine for morning and night? Yeah, do what your skin needs. I think if you want to save money, you can incorporate elements into both, but you can absolutely have a completely different routine. My routine in the evening is very different. If you see on the shelf behind, there's a lot of these products I use morning and mix them up in the evening, but yeah, absolutely, you do what your skin needs. Simon says, Rob, I got a question. I have a bad habit, I know. I've been smoking for 4 years now. I read lots of things about smoking, wrinkles, does smoking, let's say the reasons for getting them. Is it the reasons for getting them? Okay, so I'm not going to go on a big anti-smoking rant here because I don't smoke myself. Yes, so smoking has a significant number of health implications, and on the skin it can be very dehydrating. So in terms of the actual impacts on wrinkles, you're probably not seeing them when you're younger, but it does dehydrate the skin, and when the skin's dehydrated, it makes you more prone to wrinkles in later life. It also impacts the levels of collagen and elastin in the skin, which means the skin won't snap back and be as firm in later life. And because as you're sucking on something, you're using the lines here, you tend to get wrinkles around the lips that are quite prevalent. Obviously, the solution to that is to give up smoking. That's easier said than done, and I'm not preaching to anyone. To make sure you're getting the hydration, I would certainly focus on using something like the Azuraline solution around the lips. That will just help prevent some of the formation of those wrinkles. There's things you can do if you don't want to give up the smoking, no judgment. Use the Azuraline solution around the lips because that's when you're going to first see the impacts of smoking in terms of fine lines and wrinkles. But really good question, and be honest, no judgment here, no judgment whatsoever. Joanne said, are harmful chemical sunscreens for our health. Greetings from Colombia. Hello to everyone from Colombia. There's a lot of controversy around chemical sunscreens. Some people say they're really bad, some people say they're fine. The science out there says that the products can be absorbed into the body and are absorbed into the body, the chemicals. What they do in the body is open for negotiation as to how bad they are. One thing is for sure, not using sunscreen is way worse for you than using a chemical sunscreen. So I would definitely use a chemical sunscreen over no sunscreen. If you're worried about the chemicals going into the body and, you know, potentially mixing with things like hormones and DNA, then use a physical sunscreen, use a mineral sunscreen. There's loads available. I love the Inculus, that's my go-to at the moment. I love Skinners, that's a chemical sunscreen actually, so that's a bad example. But I love mineral sunscreens. So if you're worried about them, yes, use a mineral sunscreen. But just remember, in all of this, like, those people that say chemical sunscreens are really bad need to think about what they're saying, because actually if people then stop using them, that's far worse than using them. And often in certain countries it's not that easy to get mineral sunscreens, so I'd rather people use a chemical sunscreen than no sunscreen at all. So I think we need to just, you know, I don't personally think they do that much harm, and I quite happily use a chemical sunscreen, but I leave it up to the individual to make that call. Now, I am so far behind with these. I always do this. Guys, if you haven't already, if you could hit the thumbs up button, that really helps the channel, so give it a big thumbs up. Chandra, hello, my love. Welcome to the chat. Lovely to have you. Rob, I would like your thoughts on Ghost Democracy skincare. I can't remember if it was you, my love, or somebody else recommended it to me a couple of weeks ago, and I ordered some products. It's taking ages and ages and ages to ship, so I haven't got them yet. But they're on their way and I cannot wait to try them. So I will let you know the second they arrive. I'll do a bit of an unboxing if you like, and do a bit of a review and a first impressions of them, because I am super excited. Sierra says, hello, thoughts on Philosophy products and the brand in general? I like the products. I haven't tried enough of the products to really give a full idea about them, but I like what I've tried so far. Have you tried any of them, and kind of what are your thoughts? Hello, have you tried Neod's Lip Biolipid Concentrate for volume and colour? I haven't. I love all of Neod's products, huge fan. I think this lip product, I haven't got any experience with. Would you like me to try it? I'd quite happily get it and try it. I'm quite intrigued. You know, if I come with my full trout pout next time, you'll know exactly what I've been using. Yeah, I'll try it. Let me get my hands on it and try it, because I haven't used it and I'd love to give you a proper impression of it. Janice says, hi Rob, where can I place that really easy question. Always first in your serum step. So Azuraline works best when it's in contact with the skin. So I would use your cleanser, your toner, then put it on. Leave it 20 seconds to dry in, and then on with the rest of your routine. You can use it morning and night, or just one, it's up to you. But definitely there's the first step in your serum routine. Steve says, is the Ordinary Buffer Copper Peptides only good for signs of aging? No, it's fantastic for moisturizing. It'll help with collagen production, it'll be anti-aging, and it will help at the margins of increasing the brightness and luminosity in the skin. So yeah, it's great all around. I love the product. I loved about doing it. I tested it as part of a review series. I loved it, absolutely loved it. Tom says, how has trying all these new and different products affected your skin? Do you find your skin better or worse for switching all the time? Tom, great question. I find my skin, because I know what my skin can and can't use, all the products which I test, when I say I test a product and I know it's not going to be suitable for my skin type, I'll get someone else to test it, feedback, and then I'll present their feedback. I'm very careful about what I test and what I don't test, because I don't want to use stuff that I know is going to interact badly with my skin and cause a breakout. So I am quite mindful about what I use. I find switching it up actually doesn't really make any difference. Because a lot of what I'm doing, if you think about it, the ingredients aren't that different. The products might be different, but actually the active ingredient isn't the difference. So when I try move from one vitamin C to another vitamin C, actually I'm still using vitamin C. It's a slightly different formulation, but it's pretty much the same ingredient. So I notice very little difference, if that makes sense. What I'm testing is the application, the formulas, and how it sits on the skin, more than the active ingredient itself. I think usually it's better to stick to products that work for you and have them more long-term in your routine and keep chopping and changing. But actually, I'm surprised at how little it's affected my skin. I think overall, since starting this channel, my skin's better. The Azuraline solution by The Ordinary, that's going nowhere. My standard exfoliators, my azelaic acid, that's going nowhere. So I haven't changed loads and loads of things. I just swap the formulations around a little bit, if that makes sense. Quaker Beauty says Glow Recipe has another product coming, hyaluronic acid serum on Tuesday. I did not know that. I can't wait to try that. That's actually quite good. A good little bit of tea there. So thank you very much for sharing. Christian says, hello, did you ever try Nu Skin products? I have tried the Nu Skin stuff, but I then had to try something else. It all got a bit complicated. So I will be doing a review of them in the future. Sifa says, can I use the ordinary buffet copper peptide with the Paula's Choice BHA 2%? So yes and no. You can, but you shouldn't use them back to back. So I would buffer them with something like hyaluronic acid to rebalance the skin and then to put it on afterwards, because you don't want it to come in direct contact with an exfoliating acid because it can denature and make them less efficient. So use your BHA exfoliator, then apply hyaluronic acid, then use your buffet with copper peptides, and you should be absolutely fine. Now, guys, I have totally run over here. I am way behind with these comments. I am so sorry. I'm going to keep going for a little bit if you want to still join me. If I don't get around to answering your questions, don't worry. I do go back and I will leave comments in against them all in the video tomorrow when it's uploaded. That's what Paige says. Do you have any recommendations for affordable powder SPFs that you can find in the UK? Paige, I don't. The reason for that is powder SPFs, I'm a little bit up and down with as to whether they work or not. You don't get many in the UK because they're not generally recognised as being that efficient and effective as a sun protectant. So I think they're fine for topping up during the day, but I wouldn't use it as my base SPF, if that makes sense. The only one I've tried and found to work was the Peter Thomas Roth. That was really good. A little bit on the pricey side, but it does apply really nicely and it doesn't add any coverage or cakiness. So I would try the Peter Thomas Roth, but I would definitely put a standard SPF in your routine at the start of the day and then add that into touch up if you don't want to mess your makeup up and stuff during the day. BB says, I heard in some reviews of The Ordinary that Matrixyl is good for face volume, that gives a baby fat face look. What do you think? Been using it for 2 months and waiting for the 1%. Matrixyl fantastic. It does plump. It's as a peptide, it's a volumizing peptide, so it will plump, which is fantastic. If you want to mix it up a little bit, it's in as an ingredient in the buffet, so you can add the buffet and that way you'll get some extra peptides as well as the Matrixyl. But the Matrixyl on it, David says, what do I think about the Bliss new line? Bliss reached out to me and said, could we send you it? And I said yes, but due to the mail here in the UK, it's taken forever to arrive. So I haven't tried it yet, but I have it on, I have it on its way and I will be reviewing it when it does. It looks intriguing. I like Bliss. I think they're a good product line. It looks intriguing and I can't wait to see how it kind of works with my skin, because it is targeted at people like myself that are a bit oily, acneic, and so I'm looking forward to it. Let's have a Kat says, hello, I'm going through purging period right now for introducing retinol for the first time. Can I still exfoliate with the ordinary peeling solution or Paula's Choice? Yes, absolutely. When you're purging, using salicylic acid in particular can be quite calming and therapeutic to the purge and help to lessen the life of the purge, if that makes sense. So definitely should still exfoliate. I wouldn't use the peeling solution as I think that could be too strong, especially if you're going through a purge, and it might actually encourage the purge to continue a little bit longer. So I wouldn't use that, but the BHA by Paula's Choice would be a fantastic way of calming the skin, but also just trying to limit the length of time that purge happens for. But fantastic question. David says, what other ingredients can help with oily skin? Niacinamide didn't work for me. In which case, have you tried benzoyl peroxide? So I'm using benzoyl peroxide at the moment. What that tends to do is it prohibits the formulation of some of the acne causing bacteria. So it can be really good at making sure that that oil, whilst it still sits in your skin, it doesn't actually lead to acne in the same way that it would if it allowed the acne causing bacteria to proliferate. So I try benzoyl peroxide. It will also be slightly drying, so it will help to mattify the skin as well. Alex says, can I use the BHA in the morning and then the 15% vitamin C? I tolerate it, but wonder if I'm cancelling. No, that's absolutely fine. BHA, vitamin C, beautiful together. You definitely can use them together and they go beautifully together. Annika says, a cruelty-free alternative to the Cicaplast Balm is the Your ATO Cream Blue Label. Really? I'm trying it. Annika, thank you, my love. Such a kind... I love your recommendations. I'm going to make a note of it when I rewatch the video and I'm going to try it and then I'll announce it to the world when I've tried it. So look, Kat says, hello, Kitty in the background. Yeah, he's still asleep. He's facing the other way now. He ain't interested in this live. He's asleep. Tom says, Canada, thanks you, Rob. You rock. Tom, you will be one of the first to try my new skincare line. I'll send you the whole lot to know what you think. Ida says, what's your favourite Neod products? Oh... I love all of Neod products, but the Repigment, life-changing. The copper amino acid isolate, absolutely amazing. Their multimolecular hyaluronic complex, those are like my top 3 if I had to choose them. But they're all good. Neod's just amazing. BBC, what do you? Jenny says, "You're the sweetest, lovely." Thank you, Jenny. Always looking after my Canadians here. Don't you worry. Quaker Beauty says, give brands a bit of a break on shipping right now. Shipping anything to the US is a mess and broken. I actually, I think one thing that this pandemic has taught us is it's so hard. So many more people are ordering things online. And so shipping is impacted by volumes increasing and staffing going down and all this. And I think if you order a product, I am impatient. I want it tomorrow. I want to try it. But you know what? I think we do all have to just think, it's worth it. It's worth trying and giving a little bit of extra time. And I have so much stuff coming in the post. Actually, I've forgotten what's coming. So it's really nice now because shipping's taking like 2 weeks instead of 2 days. I forget what's coming, then I open it. I'm like, oh, it's like Christmas. So actually, delayed shipping has its benefits. And I do think we should give companies a little bit of a break and allow them to maybe take a little bit longer to get the products to us. But I'm quite impatient. Miss Farry says, finally made it for one of these. Hello, my love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Laura says, what time do you do your live streams? I do them 6 p.m. UK time every Saturday, so come and join us. Anyone, come and join us. I am going to have to wrap up because we are running way over time. If I didn't get around or I missed your comment, I'm so sorry. Leave me in the video and I will get back to you. I answer all the comments on the bottom of these. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I do really appreciate all of you joining. And just final question, what are we eating tonight? What are we doing for dinner? What are we drinking? What are we celebrating? It's the weekend after all. I'll carry on with a few more questions. Let's have a look. Morgan says, I love the accent. Thank you, Morgan. Very kind. Definitely part of why I love listening to your videos. Like gorgeous. Your choice of words like gorgeous and absolutely fantastic. I'm a bit over the top. But you know what? Skincare is my hobby. It's my passion. It's what I love. I think we can all be a little bit over the top when we want to be. Right. Gal Torrance says, hello from Tel Aviv. Hello, my love, all the way from Israel. So welcome. Suggestions for what to mix in the same routine with Neod Survival and the Inculus Q10. They mix really well with anything. The Q10 means you don't need a hyaluronic acid because it's very hydrating. So definitely a vitamin C goes beautifully with them. It'll just up the ante on all of your antioxidants. So I'd get a really good vitamin C to pair with those. I think that's a fantastic combination. Let me just bring up the rest. Questions. There we are. So McCullough says, does smoking, not tobacco, affect the skin negatively in the same way? Yes. So the tobacco is one thing, dehydrating, the smoke can dehydrate, all of that can have an impact. If people are vaping and things, it's still the action that you get around the mouth, which can lead to wrinkles around here. Duralast solution will be your friend. Like I said, I don't preach on smoking. It's not something I do personally and ever have done. And obviously for health reasons, it's beneficial to not. But if you want to combat some of the negative side effects, I think the Duralast solution will be your friend, especially around the eye area and the lip contour. That would be my suggestion. Asking for a friend. Absolutely. No judgment here, love. No judgment. Wendy says, can you elaborate more on the Paula's Choice azelaic acid? Yeah, so Paula's Choice azelaic acid, same concentration as the ordinary. Beautiful product though, because it's got more of a creamy texture. It's got more hydrators in there and humectants. Will mean it doesn't leave you quite as dry as the ordinary, which is silicone based, and silicone not being particularly hydrating. It won't leave you as dry. So it's better, I think, for people with dry skin, would be my preference. Let's have a look. Sometimes, some people have said the live stream can lag a little bit. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think it's sometimes due to the connection and the amount of people we have on. If you miss anything, tomorrow it's all live and it's all pre-recorded and it goes live tomorrow, so you can go down and check whatever you want to do, and you can watch it all back tomorrow. Now, guys, that's it for today. Let me just make sure that I've missed a few questions. Raymond Moore, hi mate, how are you? Just calling out something. Any questions that I've missed, I do go back and I'll respond to them all tomorrow once the video is live. So I'm so sorry, but we've run out of time for today. Hopefully you guys will all join me next week, same time, 6 p.m. here in the UK time on Saturdays. And wherever you are in the world, guys, thank you so much. I love every second of our time on these chats. So please join me next week. And whatever you're cooking, whatever you're eating, whatever you're living your best life, hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.